So, you're officially on Borderlands 4 and you have no idea what is going on. Well, luckily I am here to give you some tips and tricks on what you should do in Borderlands 4 to have the best experience overall. This is going to cover not only like changing up some settings and stuff like that to make you just feel better, but it's also going to cover different stuff to keep an eye out in the world just to make your gameplay that much smoother and better. If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up and letting me know in the comments down below something else you're interested in seeing, whether it's fun guides, some lore videos, or just some build videos for Rafa, Vex, Amon, or Harlow. Make sure you're also subscribing and becoming a member for everything Byrdman. Now let's jump into tip 1, going into your settings. Now, let's first talk about some settings that are going to be good to go into. First and foremost, obviously you can see I am having the radar active in my game in that top right corner. It is an absolute must in my opinion. If you've ever played a Borderlands game, it is sometimes a little tough to see all the enemies on the map. So having this little radar that's going to just let you know enemy red dot where they're at is really freaking nice. So what you're going to do is go into options, go up to gameplay, and right at the bottom there is a toggle radar display, and you're going to turn that on. Trust me, it is absolutely insane and very helpful. And next is going to be for your grapple. Now the grapple is a new addition to the game. Really helps out with just the overall vertical versatility and also just getting you floating, especially once you get your glide active and everything. It's one of my favorite parts about the game. But there is a default setting in the game that whenever you grapple, it immediately makes you kind of like look down at the ground at everything you do. It's not terrible, but it's definitely something that can improve. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go into your settings, you're gonna go over to accessibility, and in accessibility, you're gonna go over to gameplay, click on that, and down here there's going to be grapple view tilt. On or off, you're going to turn that off. What it's going to do is essentially just let you, whenever you grapple, just like continue to look in the direction that you're looking and not have to immediately like look down whenever you're doing it, because that can be a little jarring in content. So in general, I think that's a really good way to just immediately help yourself out. Next, let's talk about another super easy thing, and that's just simply driving around the map as soon as you get your vehicle and starting to unlock all of these silos and safe houses you see available around the map. These are great for your fast traveling around the map. Makes your life a whole lot easier. There are a significant amount of times where you're doing a mission where it's like, hey, essentially you're going to drive from this spot of the Fade Fields all the way to the opposite side. So that's a great way to essentially just cut down on time so you're able to get from place to place. In regards to the silos, it's a great way to immediately start unlocking all of the vault pieces you need to do. You get those vault pieces and then you're able to go in the vault, beat that specific vault mission, and then you get the upgrade to your movement tech after. I would say the movement tech is something almost immediately you should try to do. That's why I say once you go into a new fresh area, immediately make sure you're going and unlocking those safe houses and silos, get that vault finished, and just have it in general like better experience all around. Also, unlocking these silos and safe houses will give you the currency you need to unlock your SDUs, your storage deck upgrades for all your different weapons, your backpack, your lost loot, and your bank. I would say that's something almost immediately you should go into. Speaking about SDUs, what should be kind of the focus of like what you're putting all your SDU points into? I would say first and foremost, backpack and bank are some of the biggest ones. Biggest reason for that is there's going to be a lot of underbarrels that you're going to want to use, not only for the specific character you're on, but your later characters. So you're able to chuck that in there and do that. Backpack spaces is huge for farming in general, for not only just money, but also carrying everything that you need. And then once you reach that end game, you have the firmware available to you. So being able to pick up pieces of, items that have firmware on it so that you can transfer it later on to a different item is super huge as well. We were just mentioning unlocking things around the map so that you have an easier time playing the game. One of those is going to be unlocking this stockroom silo at the bottom of the Fade Fields so that you have an easy traversal down to the Splash Zone Moxie's Encore machine. Splash Zone is one of the easiest farms in the game, so that would be a big one I would say to keep an eye out for. I have an entire video kind of covering that as well, so make sure you're checking that out to understand everything about Splash Zone. Next, let's talk about underbarrels. Underbarrels are a somewhat new addition to the game. It's more something that's been like really emphasized in Borderlands 4 versus the previous games. And these are amazing attachments that are on specific weapons that give them essentially a different alt fire. You have underbarrel shotguns, underbarrel, this beam tosser, grenade launchers, pretty much you name it, they probably have one of those in the game. And they're some of the strongest things in the game. Again, specifically the beam tosser is one of them, as well as the scatter shot on JAKOBS shotguns. Definitely recommend checking those out if you do. Those can pretty much one-shot bosses at certain times. I have some clips probably showing on screen right now of that, so definitely keep an eye out on those. Now, you're playing the game, you're looking for specific weapons. What are some weapons you should be really looking out for? And pretty much anything JAKOBS is good. I mean, literally every JAKOBS shotgun I've used has been good. Pretty much all of the JAKOBS pistols I've used are good. JAKOBS enhancements are absolutely broken. You know, grenade ordnance, the throwing knives are absolutely busted. JAKOBS is the best manufacturer in the game without me by a couple quarter miles. Like, it's so freaking good. Again, really emphasize that you should do like early game farm splash zone until you get yourself like a purple JAKOBS shotgun. Even a blue JAKOBS shotgun will do just fine for you. Keep an eye out for those scatter grenade launchers at the bottom of those JAKOBS shotguns. Again, JAKOBS in general is the strongest in the game, so keep an eye out on those. Next is going to be just honestly selling everything that you see. Again, if you're going to be farming bosses like Splash Zone or any of the drill sites, it's going to be really important for you to pick up literally everything, find a vending machine, and go sell it. You make an obscene amount of money in this game from literally everything, and it's going to be a really easy way for you to stack up money, not only for your farming of the Encore machines, but also just being able to afford different things in the vending machines. I have had a lot of legendaries show up in the machines that cost like over $1 million, and obviously it takes a while to get to that spot. But once you're in those higher levels and you're picking up purples and blues off the ground and selling them, you are making a couple $1 million per run. So that is something easy on in the game that you can do to help yourself out. There's definitely some challenges involved with that you're able to kind of like coast through pretty fast as well. So again, sell everything. While we're on the topic of selling everything, you need to make sure you're being pretty conservative about your iridium costs. Iridium is going to be probably the most premium currency in the game currently, that being because it is used for the Moxie Big Encore machine. That machine specifically is different than the regular Encore machine. This one essentially gives you a bigger and better chance at getting a specific legendary from whatever boss it is tied to for that week. It is a weekly thing, and it costs you about 100 iridium just to do those runs. Almost immediately, I would say, don't waste your time doing that. I think you're better off spending the 30,000 bucks, you know, at level 50 to farm something than wasting your precious iridium, because iridium is also tied to resetting your specialization tree. These trees are insanely important for you to have. I would say if you have an idea of a build that you want to do early on, once you unlock specializations, plan that out. Maybe hold off on using those specialization points until you're completely sure, because it costs you 5,000 iridium to reset this tree. It is absolutely insane. I really hope they change that because again, it is very costly just to do a simple reset. Like again, if I want to change this build up at all, I have to pretty much build it around what the specialization is. If you are on PC, I recommend that once you hit 5,000 iridium, you make a couple save files of specific character that you're interested in because you would be able to swap to that one and change it depending on what you want. So me for Rafa, once I hit 5,000 iridium, I would make a couple save files of, you know, that current build. And then I could do an Arc Knives one, I could do a Lance one, I could do a Peacebreaker Cannon one, and have a different setup of the specialization tree between all of those. I already kind of emphasized this before, but the vault upgrades are absolutely huge. I definitely think that you probably should do the vaults almost immediately as you get them unlocked, because those movement abilities will make your game so much better. It might be a little tough at times for you, but at the same time, I think it's definitely worth kind of brute forcing your way through to at least get that one clear so that you're able to get those upgrades. Those upgrades are going to include better recharge time on your stamina bar. You'll get more dashes out of a certain use, and then you'll also have like better glide efficiency and everything. Trust me, those are absolutely insane to have. Before, I was kind of talking about upgrading your backpack and your bank for a specific reason. Firmware is a big, huge part of that. Firmware is going to give you essentially those different boosts that are kind of more gear dependent. These are only going to show up on your bottom gear here, so your rep kit, your ordnance, class mod, your shield, and your enhancement. You have essentially 5 of them available. Now you could have 5 different firmware at a level 1 active, or you can stack up to a level 3. So like on this character, I have a Deadeye. So that's 3 stack use. I'm getting extra critical hit and critical hit damage on everything. And then on this one, I specifically only have gun reload right now. And then eventually once I get a second one, I'll place on like my ordnance here, and then I will have extra gun critical damage for 10%. But this spawns on, again, all those different types of gear. So literally, I say pick up everything you see. Most of your bank is going to be firmware. Luckily, the bank is account wide, so you're able to transfer these over to other characters as you see fit. But yeah, firmware is absolutely going to be huge, especially once you're going into the end game. My final piece of advice is if you're looking to power level a character, like let's say you're in those like high levels and you're looking to get to 50, definitely hop in with a friend and do some co-op. I have seen absolute stupid XP numbers coming out of doing a 2-person drill site. So one person does one drill site and the other does the other one. I saw Moxie and Chadley doing this in early access, and it was absolutely insane how fast they were getting their characters leveled up. So definitely do that. I will say at the time of this recording, co-op is pretty tough at times. It could get really wacky and really laggy. So hopefully that's not the case at launch, but I will say regardless, it's still the most efficient farming that you would have in the entire game. And there you have it. There's some tips and tricks to help you out with the beginning of the game. I hope this really helps you out. Again, just a quick overview of everything we talked about. Make sure you're changing those settings. Make sure you're unlocking the map. Use those map unlocks to get to those really efficient farms like Splash Zone early on. Whenever you're doing things like farming and everything, make sure you're picking up all those items and selling it. Also keep an eye out on those items for things like JAKOBS guns that are really good on those early game parts, as well as underbarrels, as well as firmware. Make sure you're saving up all your iridium so that you have an easier time in that end game, especially when it comes to specializations. Make sure you're unlocking the whole world early as you humanly can for those safe houses and those silos that will help you with your SDU points, getting everything unlocked in there, as well as helping out getting those vault pieces that are going to help out your movement tech. And then just finally play with friends so that you have a better time and a faster and easier time leveling up. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really enjoy it. Make sure you give me a thumbs up on the video. Let me know something you're interested in seeing down below. And follow me over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Byrdman778. Again, make sure you're also checking out my Max Roll page where I'm going to be posting a lot of endgame builds, as well as some other great creators like Chadley, Moxie, Abby Hour, Lewis, K6, Jolts Dude, and Little Gas Mask. Thank you so much for everyone for watching this video. I hope you have a great night, day, or whatever it may be.